Welcome back to breaking news here on our WTHR 13 platforms. Here with Kelly Green. We've got a wreck, an accident on the south side of Indianapolis off of State Road 37. Now the big thing here is it's State Road 37, which is becoming Interstate 69. A lot of construction out there. Let's go live right now to John Durant, who's at the scene with valuable information about a tanker that thankfully, John, was empty. It was not carrying gasoline, it was carrying liquid asphalt. But give us the very latest. Okay. All right. So we're still working on getting John while we work on that. Let's talk to Kelly Green about this, because this is a situation that happened about an hour ago, and they said it's basically going to be blocking traffic for the next several hours, both directions, northbound and southbound.
Right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the in-dot camera that we do have working right now. This is the closest one to the scene. This came down about 6:30 this morning, where we have 37. Obviously, a ton of construction going on in this stretch, and they are actually currently working on this area right now as we speak. But this is northbound, where the actual tanker truck ran into the barrier, started a big fire. Very heavy smoke could be seen from many directions, and as that was in those northbound travel lanes, it's just north of Wicker Road and north of Bluff Road, but it has caused all of the lanes to be shut down, northbound and southbound along State Road 37. Now, we've been talking about this construction of I-69 in the State Road 37 area, so this is causing major backups. Again, northbound travel lanes is where the actual tanker fire happened. However, it has impacts both northbound and southbound travel lanes. Now, looking at a couple of options here, you can take State Road 135 or US 31, both northbound and southbound, and then another option west of 37 would be to take Man Road, and you can catch that by taking Southport Road and go northbound or southbound on Man Road. Now, we do have John back, thankfully. So, John, give us the latest updates on what you're seeing there on the scene.
Well, Kelly, I'm just going to set the scene for you. This is the site of the crash. The tanker behind me, that's what crashed after blowing a front tire, Indianapolis Fire says, crashing into the median, busting the tanker, catching on fire. Luckily, that tanker was empty, but you can see the cab is completely gone. That fire is completely put out, and just over to the left, Indianapolis Fire says that was the driver that escaped just before the cab caught fire. Luckily, there are no injuries in this crash. Now we're going to look down. That truck was heading southbound. Here's the northbound lanes. We are on a construction site, so they made the construction equipment handy here, removing some pieces of the median in between the north and southbound lanes so that northbound traffic could actually turn around and get out of the parking lot they were stuck in. And if you look the other way, emergency vehicles still present there. That traffic heading southbound hasn't moved yet, but it looks like they're making an effort to get some of the emergency vehicles out of the way so that traffic can continue on. But the scene, wrapping up here, the fire out behind me. Luckily, though, no injuries, but this is definitely going to cause some traffic concerns as people are making their morning commutes, Carlos.
John, thank you so much. And yeah, you talk about that fire. Let's show you some video that we got in from Indiana State Police of that fire that happened. And this happened, like you said, around 6:30 this morning on State Road 37. And you can see the plume of smoke coming up there, right there. And when you think about how much worse this could have been if that tanker is actually carrying gasoline, and if that tanker was full, this could have been catastrophic for that area. But even then, because of the tire blowout on the front part of that semi truck and the fact that it hit that center median and it had that kind of that explosion, you see that plume of smoke. Thankfully, it's amazing that no one was hurt in this incident. I travel this road a lot going down to the south side of my home in Greenwood, and let me tell you right now, it is very treacherous in that area because they are doing construction. So they're basically putting 4 lanes of traffic onto 2 lanes of traffic, and they're packing in real tight with barriers on both sides. So I can totally understand how this could have happened, because you're constantly kind of zigzagging in and out of different lanes. You know, you definitely need to go the speed limit or slower when you're down there in that area. And I'm not saying that speed was an issue here. It was a tire blowout that happened. But if you have anything that happens to you and you hit that center median, bad things can happen.
Right, and we talked about too, it's tough to get emergency vehicles even to the scene through that area because it is so tight here with all the construction vehicles here on the scene. And again, thankfully, there was no one injured. It's unbelievable. It happened during daylight, and we know can be very difficult to travel along State Road 37 with all these orange barrels that are up and the cement barriers as well as they continue to build I-69. But we have been watching the traffic actually being diverted from northbound 37 and doing a U-turn and going back southbound. It looks like they've gotten most of the vehicles that were stuck in that backup out of here, thankfully. They still have the southbound travel lane, so you can see the semi here. This is still very much blocked as they are trying to go southbound on State Road 37. Now, I gave a couple of the updates. Again, I'll go on those alternate routes if you're trying to go from the Marion County area, or perhaps you're farther south and you want to get farther, get back north into the Indianapolis area. Again, this is along State Road 37, just north of Wicker and Bluff roads. That tanker fire happened in the northbound travel lanes, but nonetheless, it's shut down both northbound and southbound travel lanes. So east of State Road 37, your best options are to take State Road 135 or US 31. That is a bit out of the way, but you can catch Main Street, and of course Morgantown Road is also very busy and backed up. Another option, if you're farther on the west side of 37, you could take Man Road. You can catch Southport going both westbound and catch Man Road going northbound or southbound, or you can come from Southport Road as well.
All right, so we got some comments going on. Lisa Wood sends prayers. Steve says, I'm glad I live in a rural area. Donnie says, I hope no one got hurt. No, Donnie, no one, it's amazing that no one did get hurt in this situation. And then, of course, Charlotte says, glad everyone is safe. And then Liz says, people will be late to work for sure. And yeah, if you're coming from the Martinsville area, the Mooresville area, the Bloomington area, and you're coming up 37, 69, I'm so used to calling it 37, but 69/37 as it makes that transition, you are going to need an alternate route. You just pointed those out. And so, I mean, I would even say if you're, if you're south enough, Edinburgh and that area, as far as, Bloomington, you might want to think about cutting over to 65. And
that'll be a much faster route, avoiding 37, I-69 at all costs at this hour, because I think it's going to take more than another hour to get this cleaned up. It sounds, just with the mess, hazmat has been called out onto the scene as well, that normally they do an investigation. They try to see, if there was some other hazards that could be causing some issues on the actual roadways. And obviously they have construction equipment out there. They can fix that a little faster than normal, but nonetheless, it could be a bit treacherous out there, and they're going to make sure it's as safe as possible before they open all those lanes back up. All
right. So I want to say thank you to everyone who's commenting right now, sending their prayers to the situation. And once again, thankfully, no one was hurt in this situation, just a backup in traffic on State Road 37 near the Southport exit. Both north and southbound lanes currently closed. As you said, you think it's going to happen for another few hours, so avoid this area at all costs. As a tanker hit the center median, it was not full of any gasoline, or it was carrying liquid asphalt, not full of that either, but there was a plume of smoke that came up, and it's causing traffic to be backed up and stopped in both the north and southbound lanes. For Kelly Green, I'm Carlos Diaz. Thanks for joining us on our digital platforms. We'll be here all day long and have updates for you online and on 13 News at noon.